That's true. Hello, John M.
Hello, Lisa.
How's life going today?
Life is good.
Nice to see your smile.
Nice to see yours.
So you are helping me create an infomonial, a word I have coined for my soul contract work. And I want to say, before I say anything, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Is there a copyright on that term?
Say again?
Is there a copyright on that term?
No. Should I do that?
Oh, maybe so.
All right. I'll work on it. Another new turf thing for me to discover. So I'd like to ask you a couple questions to help basically generate some business for me as I pursue this career of what to me is a very exciting, consciousness-raising, soul-fulfilling experience. So what I want to ask you is, before I gave you your soul contract reading, what were your expectations? Like, what were you anticipating?
Well, I don't know if I really had any specific expectations about it. And if you had asked me that 6 months ago, I would have had no idea what you were talking about what is a soul contract and what does that even mean. And I think, in the past 6 months, I've been exposed to some shamanic work which deals with soul and soul contracts, and my loose understanding of that is that we sometimes come into the world with these agreements, and sometimes we make them in the world, and whether or not we abide by them may dictate how well we are getting along in our lives. And so, with going into your reading with that kind of loose understanding of it, I think I didn't really know what to expect, but I think I thought I would understand maybe something about what it is that I came here to do.
Yeah, yeah. And as we underwent the process, what was your actual experience like?
Well, my experience was that it was a lot more specific than I thought it would be. And the sort of the segments of what my karma is, what my talents are, and what my goals are, and that there's physical karma, talents, and goals, and then there's spiritual karma, talents, and goals, and then there's an overall spiritual destiny or soul destiny. Those talents, while generic and not, obviously don't have the details of my life, were a lot more specific than I would have imagined.
Yeah, surprising, right?
Surprising, right?
Are you glad we recorded it? It was so
absolutely.
in-depth.
I've drawn on that since, and that was super helpful to do it via Skype and then have the video recording of it. So, I've been able to go back and look at it again and think about more about what we talked about, and sort of as I start to witness those things in my life, I can go back and see like, oh, okay, that's from an experiential perspective, that's what that meant.
Yeah, yeah.
Imagine that's an ever evolving and expanding understanding.
Yeah. It's like layers and layers, reveal, reveal, reveal.
Right.
Yeah. And my favorite question, honestly, is how has the experience of doing that reading with you impacted your life?
Well, I think it has been really positive. I would say generally positively is how it has impacted me. But I think the thing that was really the most helpful were the sort of the understanding that the karma that I came here to burn had an actual key and a solution to it, and that there were these directives about what I could do to overcome, and in some instances I had already sort of come to that place and begun to burn my karma, as it were.
Yeah.
And the idea that you come into life and there's no kind of rule book or guidelines necessarily, other than what you're given by your parents and society, and then but to feel like, okay, in a more sort of esoteric or mystical sense. We came here to learn certain things, and here are the sort of general lessons you're here to learn. That kind of specificity is really helpful. And then to see, like, okay, well, here are the keys to resolving that, and then here are the keys to, unlocking your talents, which help you burn that karma and achieve your goals. So to have those sort of very well-defined pieces of the mystery of life, my life, to say, okay, here are the problems you're going to face. Here are the talents you have that can help you face those problems, and then here is the ultimate goal that you're striving towards. And when you achieve that goal, then that means that you've employed your talents and you've overcome your karma. That was really that's kind of a magic. It's just nice to feel like you have answers, and it is a fill in the blank answer. I mean, it's like you get to provide those specifics, the details, as they occur in your life. But to feel like there's some sort of it's kind of like having a map for your life, and here are the important signs and signals, and these are the roads, and this is where they go. And so to have some of the details of the map of your life filled in is obviously really beneficial and helpful.
I think I hear you saying the information was powerful, the recommendations were helpful, and something about knowing the map, the road, makes traveling it easier.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and to feel like there is sort of the idea of putting your higher calling into more concrete terms, rather than having to just sort of stumble into it or grab it out of the ether. To say, like, this is, and there's obviously there's so many things, and it's broad enough that you can obviously make it, bring your own interpretation to the reading, but to feel like there are definite reasons why we're here, and that there are goals in life, and you can fulfill them however you want. There's also freedom. It's not like a mandate that you must do it this particular way, or it's not that level of specificity. But yeah, I found that to be very powerful and helpful.
Thank you for daring to do this with me. Cutting edge stuff. I celebrate your bravery and just the daringness to go for something that probably to many people would seem so strange.
Well, that has been my life.
So, and I also thank you for agreeing to allow me to post this and advertise. Is there anything you want to say to the world in closing before I post?
Well, I would just say that you were a very welcoming and open practitioner of this particular skill, and that you made it quite easy for me to expand upon things as you presented them, and your reading was very inviting. So I think that's something that will obviously aid you moving forward, and I think probably anyone who works with you would feel the same way. So yes.
Thank you.
Of course.
And I will see you again.
Okay.
Namaste.
Namaste.